Hello and welcome to my speedrun video tutorial for the tutorial. Oh, there's a little bit of glare. Oh, don't mind that glare. It's fine. So let's get right into it. First thing, oh, you can see me. Amazing. That I am wearing a shirt. It's just a very light colored shirt. Just so you know. So, before we even actually start the tutorial, there's something that you should probably do to help make sure that your tutorial run is going to go as fast as possible, which is just to run the tutorial once or multiple times. For some reason that seems to make the load into the tutorial faster, and that's part of your run time because you start your run when you actually press the tutorial icon on the menu, so that load time into the tutorial is going to count. So if you run the tutorial first, since you've launched the game, it seems every launch resets that load on the tutorial. So just make sure to run the tutorial first. You don't have to actually play through the whole tutorial. You can just load it up and then go out of it, just go to the skip tutorial button, but it'll make the load faster for some reason I found. So be sure to do that so you can get the fastest load in time to the tutorial. Then we're just popping balloons, and this movement part is literally just good movement. Right there, when I jump for those balloons, I like to kick to make sure I hit it, and it might even be faster, I don't know. And then when it comes to attacking Midori to advance, your goal is to get the timing down by instinct or memorizing just how long that it is before you need to hit him. Because if you're trying to spam it, just spam this, which by the way, whenever you can, use neutral A as your attack, because that's your fastest attack. So you're going to be able to progress the quickest by just mashing, using neutral A. This, back A and forward A are slower. Back A is the one you never want to use because it's the slowest. Forward A is your secondary to use, which you do want to use, say, if you're coming up to Midori and he's ready for you to hit him. Using forward A is fine because it's better to start the attack earlier and have it last longer if you need to hit him, because this is longer range than this. This still has pretty good horizontal distance, but this is longer. So basically, neutral A first, forward A is a secondary when you're too far away to hit something. So see, when I tried to attack him right there too early, it just went through him. So I want to wait and time my attack so that the end of the neutral A is going to hit him. And we're going to go through the tutorial a couple times, by the way, so I'm going to detail some different things once we go through a second time. So yeah, we're going to want to time that to hit right at the end of the neutral A so we can move on as fast as possible. Here, make sure not too close or this will whiff. Just make sure to space yourself back a little bit. On this one, basically as soon as you jump, press the B. That'll make sure you always hit that every single time. So that one can be a little tricky to hit. Okay. So when it comes to the C section, that didn't mean for it to sound like that. This is what happens if you're too slow. You get that little text box. If you're fast enough to get through this and hit all three of these enemies, you will actually skip that text box just by being fast. So that's your goal, is to get through it before the previous text box finishes, and then you won't get that one. And you want to space yourself out here so that when you do the C, you're hitting only with the very edge. And I've noticed for some reason that seems to kind of cancel the end of the animation for some reason. I don't know why it does. I didn't get to show it off there, but sometimes if you're just hit him with the tip, it has a weird cancel effect. Okay, for this part, you want to make sure you're waiting long enough for Grave to turn around. If you do it too early, the wind's going to be going the opposite direction, and then you have to wait until the wind dies down for you to do it again. So you want to just wait for Grave to turn around and don't be too hasty on that. Okay, this part's kind of difficult. So the wind is blowing right now, and if you try and forward jump, you're gonna go way over everyone's head. And see, I can't even really go back now. I have to actually use this to go back because the wind is very strong. So just make sure when you hit the guy right up here, the first one, that you're not just holding forward, because you'll end up going over the heads of the little ones, and then you'll have to back up, and it'll be really huge time waste. So what you want to do is not jump forward, you want to jump neutral. Jumping neutral will allow you to not move as far, and you'll be able to control it a little better. And then when you get to the two little ones, you want to kind of wait until you're close to the ground. Alternatively, if you position yourself right, it is possible to hit both of the small guys at the same time. One of them will be hit by the lightning, and then you'll hit the other one with the actual whirlwind. But that's really hard to do. You can kind of try and find the spacing for that. I haven't really tried to find the exact spacing for that to be able to detail it. Okay, so the super section. They changed it in a recent patch so that you can't hit the full animation, which looks like this, from as far away. So they actually made this easier, because now you can more easily hit this without actually triggering the full animation like that. So you just want to make sure you're far enough away so that it hits with just the very end of it. And then for this one, just make sure you don't actually hit him with the super while he's on the ground, otherwise it will do the full animation. Alright, this one is just timing, and if you accidentally go through him, which is possible, and land on the left side, try and get back on the right side if you can, but if you can't, don't waste time and don't worry about it. But you want to do the their super from the right side of him, because then you'll end up landing on the left side and you'll get a good forward distance on the left side. Alright, here, it's just combos, nothing fancy about it. Just make sure to use neutral A because it's the fastest attack. And I was a little early there. Here, same thing. Make sure you use neutral A on the ground because it's the fastest. Alright, this one, you're going to want to probably, depending on when you get over to them, you're going to want to use probably forward A more. Okay, I'm just going to pause this. So you're going to want to use forward A when necessary. So if you don't get over to the first guy quick enough and you're far away when you block, just use forward A. Because it'll probably hit him as long as you are within, not the extreme tip of the sword. Your forward A will likely hit him. So use that, because it would take even more time if you got close, blocked again, and then use neutral A. So depending on how far away you are, use either neutral A or forward A there to hit them after the block. And yes, you do have to block first. If you try and attack them without having blocked first, they'll just block your attack. Alright, here, as soon as you finish taking care of the last sword guy, you're just going to want to spam the B button. And, I mean, you don't have to spam it during this part, but you want to spam it by the time you get to the end of this text box right here. During this make me lose 1 point, you can attack again. So, if you want, you just spam during that entire long text box. And if you hold down the projectile button, greatest projectile button, which is B, then you'll actually take longer to throw out the fireball, and it'll also travel slower. So you want to kind of just either quickly press it like a light tap, just a tap. Don't hold the button at all, because the longer you hold the button, the longer it'll take for it to come out, and the slower it'll travel. You have to hit an additional 2 times. I don't think I found a way for you to be able to hit the fireballs twice before the freeze and the text starts going, because if you try and do it too early, they'll just sail through Midori, and then the next one that hits will start the text. So You just want to start throwing the fireball as soon as you finish with the last sword guy, and then when you can gain control again, just mash that B really quickly to try and get through the other 2 hits as quick as possible. And then you're just doing a whole bunch of throws, and then you just want to, I've found the best way is to just mash throw on him when you get up to him. The first throw will miss and the second throw will hit, but I don't really know a better way to time that. If you just get the timing down of when exactly to do the throw, you can just do that instead of mashing it. I like to mash it. That's just how I like to do it. Okay, after the first throw and he Yomi counters you, you want to jump over to the left side of him, and then you want to Yomi his attack, or his grab that he's going to do shortly, from the left side of him, because then you'll end up on his right side, and you won't have to, like, jump over him, and he won't be in your way on this next section, because he walks left off the screen, no matter which side of him you're on. So you want to be in his left side for this Yomi, because then you'll end up on his right after it.
Back and forth. Okay, now I'll try to throw you. Let go of your controls and you'll Yomi counter. Saw that coming.
Alright, now it's just throw, attack, which you want to use neutral A, and then you don't have to attack him to advance. This part is just an auto-scroller basically from here on. You have to do very little things now. For this first command grab, you literally just do nothing. It's just showing off the command grab. For the second one, you do have to jump. Now in a second, we are going to gain full control. We can't move or do anything right now. But after we gain control of our jump, we can move around. If you do move around here, make sure once all the text is over and you move on to the next thing, that Graves' foot is positioned behind Midori's front foot. Because otherwise, Midori will either walk forward or backwards to do that sweep attack, and it'll waste time for him having to walk before doing the sweep. So just make sure that you have the foots like at that position there so that he doesn't have to walk. Saves a little bit of time. This is just plain good, which I'm not doing right now. The sparring section. On Midori, human Midori, you can usually get jump-ins pretty easily. And then on Dragon Midori, I like to fail a combo. Watch out, by the way, on the human Midori part, though, because he will do his counter, which is, if you hit into his counter, then he'll counterattack you and get his command grab glowing yellow thing. So just be wary of that. Maybe just do empty jumps, or do cross-up whirlwinds, because then his counterattack will miss and you'll land on the other side of him, and then you can probably even get in another 3-hit combo, or 2-hit combo with an AB, or something like that. So just be aware of that counter, otherwise human Midori is pretty decently free on jump-ins. For Dragon, I like to do cross-up whirlwinds the best I can, because the Dragon doesn't really know what to do against it. It's not as good as it used to be, because the cross-up whirlwinds, or whirlwinds in general, don't knock down now. They used to knock down, but since a recent patch, they don't knock down anymore. So you just have to be aware that the Dragon can command grab you out of those after you land and hit with the whirlwind. And then when he transforms into Dragon, I like to do a wind, like a jumping sea wind, forward, and then try and get it so that when he transforms into Dragon, I am over him with my whirlwind that strikes lightning, and then it'll knock him down, and then you can super in the corner, and you get a free combo of 3 damage that way, because he'll bounce right into your super, and you just mash super as soon as you land, and the lightning will knock him right into it. And that just gets you a free 3 damage on Dragon Midori. Here, it's usually good to just do a whole bunch of swords, and then some jump-ins. Dragon Midori is kind of tough to deal with, but as I said, the the whirlwinds usually work pretty well against them, I've noticed. And that's it. So that's just kind of, those are the ways I found to exploit this computer a little bit. Human and dragon, but they're not the most solid. Also on the fade out right there, you might not have really noticed it because I was still kind of finishing what I was saying. But on the fade out, it actually fades out in like 2 steps. It darkens twice. The first one like half darkens the screen, and then the second one actually makes it go black. You stop your timer when it goes black on the second one, not the first one. For anyone who might be confused about how to exactly stop the timer on that fade out. Because it doesn't just fade out immediately, it fades out in 2 steps. So just make sure to stop it when it goes completely black. Alright, we're going to go through it again, and I'm going to go through it more in a way I typically would do a speedrun. So I'm just going to be trying to go fast, now that I've explained all the stuff. And if I forgot, I'll try to explain it during, but I'm not going to really stop this time. Alright, balloons, jump, this is just good movement, memorizing where things are. I'm going to wait, and I actually could have gone even earlier on that. I'm going to wait, there we go, that was about perfect. Oh, you want to walk backwards there, so that you can hit that far left one with just a neutral A and then just turn around. That's faster than having to walk forward after doing it. Oh, I was a little early. Okay, here. Oh, you want to try and mash C as soon as Grave turns around. And I was actually really slow there, so I got this text box right here about flashing white. If you're fast enough, you won't get that text box. See, I summoned it too early there. Apparently the wind turns around, and my game is lagging. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Also, I'm having trouble on this bit. What I just did is not what you want to do. I'm used to walking forward there, because I didn't realize I could hit them from afar without triggering the full animation, so my muscle memory is to walk forward there during that transition, but don't do that. Oh, a little early. There we go. Timing that on the first try can be a little difficult. And I do a forward A there because he's kind of far away. Thought I was grabbing for some reason. So usually you can get in on that first one, so you can do a neutral A, but then on the second and third ones, depending, you might have to do the forward A because you might be too far away when you block. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if you're hearing all the wind, but it's like shaking everything right now. It's really strong wind. Can't do anything about the wind, the nature. Okay, mashing that. I think I actually could have done that better. I think I held it down accidentally a little bit. So here I'm just going to spam grab. That time I was actually so early that it didn't hit till the third grab. I'm going to jump over here. Not touching my controls at all. You can throw me as usual if I'm walking back and forth. Okay, now I'll try to throw you. Let go of your controls and you'll yo-me counter me. We're just going to hold right here so that we can start moving as soon as possible over there. And you don't have to actually attack them there. This bit's pretty simple. The only thing to keep in mind is to make sure of the spacing so that Midori doesn't have to walk backwards or forwards on any of these knockdowns. Which, I mean, if you just don't move here, then his spacing will already be correct, so you don't even have to adjust it. And that's it for that auto-scrollery type section.
Learned all the basics.
You can do anything you want there, it doesn't affect anything. Throwing projectiles here is also good.
One more time.
I think that's good. No, I think I was early, so I didn't actually knock him down correctly. That's something you have to also be aware of if you're just spamming sword, is his command grabs. I am extremely surprised that was still hanging out there. Dragon right now is being a little annoying. More than he normally is for me. And I believe once you run out of life, because you won't like lose if you run out of life, but I think your super meter stops regenerating, so just keep that in mind. I'm not sure. I know it stops regenerating at some point, but I'm not sure when. Wow, the wind is really wild right now. I should have. I wish I would have known that before I started recording this. The wind was going to be so ridiculously blowing against everything. Anyway, I'll do one more through the wind. But really, Grave can really harness the wind power right now since it's so windy outside. I'll do one more, and I think I covered everything in those first two run-throughs that I can think of for these the tips and tricks of how to do this tutorial speedrun that I've found so far. So as long as I didn't forget anything this time, I'll just run through it without explaining anything at all, because I think I got everything.
Welcome to Fantasy Star. I'm Master Midori. Let's learn by doing. Pop the balloons by touching them. Good. There's no dash, run, or crouch, so you already learned all about movement. Attack these sparring partners. You can only hurt these enemies with the A button. Attack me to advance. You can only hurt these enemies with the B button. The B button is special attacks. Attack me to advance. You can only hurt these enemies with the C button. The C button is also for special attacks. Attack me to advance. You can summon the wind. Go ahead. While the wind blows, your B and jumping B specials are powered up. Your powered up projectiles destroy any projectile. Your jumping B strikes lightning below. When your super meter is full, you can do a super. Usually your meter fills automatically over time. Now, it will refill instantly. Beat some enemies. Attack me to advance. Super in the air is defeated. It's a parry, so it only reaches when your opponent attacks you. Attack me to advance. Your normal attacks with A can combo into special attacks. Just press A, then B, then the other. Press up in combos.
Wow, that was just like a... Still turned around when I hit that, but he didn't go on the other side. That was a little weird.
Attack me to advance.
That was just for fun. Don't actually do that in a run.
You don't have to worry about blocking high or low, because there's no crouching in this game. Beat these enemies by blocking their attacks, then hitting them back.
See, if you do it too early, that's what happens. It just goes through him. He actually has to finish that text box, I believe, before it'll actually connect with his block.
If I block a second, my life bar flashes faster. If I block a third, I lose that point of life.
This is where I mash B, and I just turn around as soon as I fire off the last third shot. Well, second shot there, third shot total.
All normal throws. Try to throw me. I damaged you, and I got full super meter too. I can only Yomi counter you if I'm not touching my controls at all. You can throw me as usual if I'm walking back and forth. Okay, now I'll try to throw you. Let go of your controls and you'll Yomi counter me. Saw that coming. You didn't. Now, fight these opponents and throw them if they are moving, but hit them with an attack if they are waiting to
Yeah, right there. Watch out for that counter right there. Oh, that's actually like a free combo right there if you block that correctly, unlike me. Alright.
One more time.
I'm gonna do this, and there it is. That's the combo I was talking about. And that was actually really good overall. Alright, watch the fade out here. It's gonna fade out like darken 2 times. There. Actually, it looks like it darkened 3 times. But right there at the last one is when you stop the timer. Alright, so that's going to be it for this tutorial, speedrun tutorial. And that's, I think, all I have to say on it. If you have any questions, you may ask on Discord, which I will link below. Or you can message me on speedrun.com, but that's not as a reliable place to get an answer. Which I'll also link the speedrun.com page for the Fantasy Strike speedrunning leaderboards below. Or you can just ask me in the comments of this YouTube video, which is I'm posting this as. This will also be posted in the guides tab on speedrun.com as well. So they post it everywhere. If you have any questions, more stuff could be discovered in the future that could add to this, but this is all the stuff that I've tested and discovered to like do the speed run for the tutorial as fast as possible. And that's all from me for now. So see you on the next video or speedrun or whatever I do. And I hope this was helpful to you.